Hi, I'm Claire from Inspiratrix Yoga. This simple class today starts off sitting in a chair, and then there's the option to do some poses standing up, perhaps with the support of the chair, and then we'll do some poses lying down on the floor. The focus today is all around connecting to your pelvic floor and connecting to the natural expansion and contraction that happens in the pelvic floor as you breathe. Props-wise, you will need something like a fat yoga block or a cushion would do as well. Enjoy the class. You'll be sat upright in this position. And then we're all going to explore sending breath down to the pelvic floor. So if you imagine like a diamond between your sitting bones and between the anus and the front of the pelvis, like the pubic bone, then it's about sending the breath there and connecting to that area. Inhale and soften inside so the breath can balloon down to the pelvic floor. Exhale, letting the breath release. And naturally, there might be a movement out on the pelvic floor as you breathe in and in as you breathe out. So as you inhale, feel or imagine the pelvic floor moving outwards. And as you breathe out, imagine the pelvic floor moving inwards. Stay with that focus for the next few breaths. Just feeling for if there is a natural movement of the pelvic floor as you breathe. There might be, there might not be. And if it feels like, yeah, I can connect to that area, but it's really tight, and maybe different parts of the pelvic floor can be tight as well, just feel for like connecting and softening. Let's bring a tiny bit of movement into this and just see how that changes things. On the inhale, you'll be rocking forwards on the sitting bones, just a tiny bit, sending the breath down to the pelvic floor. On the exhale, rocking backwards on the sitting bones, again, just a tiny bit, feeling whether the pelvic floor moves in. So inhale, rocking forwards. Exhale, rocking backwards. And then just doing that in a way that feels in time with your breath and in time with how your body wants to move today. Close the eyes too, so you're in that inside feeling space. This is not about it necessarily being a big movement. Like in some ways, the smaller the movement, it's about really being with the subtlety of exploring feeling the pelvic floor, which can be quite mysterious. Do a couple more breaths there. All right, now we will do some abdominal stuff. Start by taking a huge breath in and send the breath all the way down to the pelvic floor. Exhale, lift the left foot up. Feel for the belly drawing in and also a slight drawing in of the pelvic floor. Inhale, foot to the floor. Exhale, lift the right leg. Feel a sense of the pelvic floor perhaps drawing in. Belly definitely moves in. Inhale and slowly return the foot to the floor. Exhale, lift the left one. Drawing in. Inhale, bringing that slowly down to the floor, perhaps tracking a movement outwards with the pelvic floor. Exhale, lifting right. Inhale, foot returning to the floor. Do one more on either side. Once you've finished the second round, then pause and come to breathing into the pelvic floor, building awareness and connection to that area. So let's do some abs with a roll. So if you have a cushion, you'd take it and fold it in half. If you're using a fat yoga block, you can use it like this. We'll do this with the hands on the thighs, leaning forward a little bit, not making it about how far you come forward, but more about like the quality of the squeezing and pulling in. Everybody take a massive breath in, sending the breath to the pelvic floor. Pause and squeeze your thighs onto the prop. Exhale, head and on the floor, people lift your head and shoulders up off the floor with the hands behind the head. You feel for, and everybody feel for contracting the belly. And there being this slight kind of pulling up of the pelvic floor and pulling in of the belly. Inhale, floor people, head and shoulders come down. In chair people, sending the breath to the pelvis, straightening up. Pause, squeeze onto your thing. Exhale, moving into it, pulling in the belly, lifting pelvic floor. Inhale, coming back. Now you've got that pattern, do a few more on your own. Feel if having this thing to squeeze between the thighs helps you to connect to the pelvic floor in a different way. Let the shoulders be quite relaxed. Like let your middle do the work. Do two more, really making the breath be at the center and connecting breath with the pelvic floor. Whether that's something you feel or whether it's just like, I'm kind of sending my breath in that direction. And once you're done with those two, you can put your block or cushion to one side. And we'll do Udhana next. If you want us to do this in a slightly simple way, do this sitting with the feet slightly apart. Or you could do Udhana standing up, where you'd be standing up with the feet like about mat width apart, knees bent, to get your belly to move. I'll show you one round and then we can do some rounds together. So either seated or standing works totally fine for this. Inhale, relax the belly out. Exhale everything out the mouth. Then holding the breath, you pull the belly back and up and in. So I'm kind of pulling in everything, really. I'm pulling in the pelvic floor and everything up from there up to about the diaphragm. Pulling it all in, holding the breath, and then at some point, you'll need to relax the belly and breathe in. So let's all try a round together now. I'll show you this from the side. If you feel confident with this, have the hands on the thighs, so you're slightly pressing the hands into the thighs to lengthen the back. If it feels like helpful to have the hands on the belly, so you can feel if it's moving, then that's also a good option here. Inhale, let the belly relax outwards. Exhale out fast through the mouth. Hold the breath, belly comes back and up and in. Holding for as long as is interesting, pulling pelvic floor into. And then when you need to, relax and breathe in. I'll talk you through wobble round and then you can do two on your own. So large breath in to start, letting the belly soften. Exhale fast. Hold the breath. Pull everything in. Pull everything back and up and in. Move the belly in, move the pelvic floor in. Holding for as long as is interesting. And then relax the belly. Do 2 more rounds on your own now. Getting this area to move. People always ask me, what's that one for? What does it do? And I think it's a really excellent exercise because you're moving around the contents of your abdomen. So you're getting your stomach to move and your liver and kidneys and all the intestines, and then all the pelvic organs down here as well are getting a bit of movement. So that's going to improve the circulation and help them to not be stuck. Like it's natural for us to be in movement and for there to be movement as we breathe. And something like Udhana, which is a bit more extreme, is great for kind of like freeing things up. Next thing I want to do is active feet. Step the left foot forward a little bit on your mat, and then wriggle the left foot from side to side. So you're massaging the ball of your left foot on the floor. And if you want to, you could do this sat down or standing up. Either works for this. So you're feeling the surface of the ball of the foot. Then I want you to do something similar on the heel of your foot. So bring the heel of your left foot to the floor and then wriggle that from side to side and forwards and backwards. Like feeling the whole of the heel of the foot. So it's like you're massaging the heel of the left foot on the floor. Great. Then step your left foot back underneath the hip. And I want you to lift all 5 toes off the floor, but still keep the ball of the foot and the heel down. So this bit's down, and then this bit's lifted. The toes are lifted. And notice the difference between your left foot and your right foot right now. Notice if you can feel more of the left leg. Let's do the same on the other side. So with the right foot now, take the right foot forwards just a little bit and then massage the ball of the right foot on the floor. Massage it from side to side and forwards and backwards. Noticing if there's any crunchy bits in the foot. Like this is if you're locked down, this is the nearest you'll get to a pedicure right now. And then do the heel. Have the heel on the floor. Roll it from side to side or forwards and backwards. Feeling the surface of the heel. Okay, now bring that foot back underneath the hip. And then I want you to do the same thing, but on both sides. So lifting all 10 toes up, but keep anchoring down through the heels and balls of the feet. Close your eyes and send your breath down to the pelvic floor, or maybe even down to the feet. And feel for equalizing the way that the weight is falling into your feet. So you're still lifting the toes, but the heels are pressing down, the balls of the feet are pressing down. Noticing the legs too. So this is active feet. And when I say active feet, I want you to do this thing of lifting all the toes up, but pressing down with the heels and the balls. And this is really great for getting the muscles of the legs to work more. So whether you're doing a pose sat in the chair or whether you're standing, doing this active feet thing can be really helpful for getting the legs working more. Let's do a little bit of balancing. And remember, you can always hold on to something like a chair or a wall if balancing feels really wobbly. Let's do eagle legs. Start by placing the right leg on the floor and lifting the left leg up. And if you're having an advanced day, activate the feet as well. It actually makes it slightly harder to balance when you're doing that really new thing. And if the toes lifted, you've got slightly less area to balance over. So if that's too wobbly, keep the toes down. If it feels okay, lift the toes up. And then with eagle legs, I want you to inhale and bend the leg you're standing on. Exhale and cross the other leg over the top. Now, you could bring the toes of this left leg down to the floor, or you could do it with the left foot up, or you might be able to wrap the left leg all the way around. Don't worry if you can't do that. But I want you to keep the leg you're standing on slightly bent and squeeze the inner thighs together. So the legs crossed right over as if you were going to wrap the leg around. Now, if you try to breathe into the pelvic floor here, it may well be a very different experience. Slowly squeezing the inner thighs together. Okay, let's do the other side. Uncross the leg. Bring all the weight into the left leg and just lift the right leg up to begin with, just feeling the weight going into the standing leg. Activating the feet if that feels like an interesting thing to do. And then bend the leg you're standing on. Bend this left leg. And cross the other one over the top. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Either doing this with the toes on the ground or toes up off the ground, or maybe even toes wrapping around the leg. Feel for the weight being in the standing leg. Finding your breath. That expansion and contraction of the breath. Maybe with a sense of the breath reaching the pelvic floor. Okay, come out of eagle legs. Give everything a shake. And then we'll come into a position lying down. So you could lie on the floor or lie on your bed. We'll do one or two things before moving into relaxation. So lie on your back with your knees bent. And we'll do some cat exercises on the back, but I want you to feel for whether you can connect to your pelvic floor as you do these and notice what movement or sensation you can access there. So let's do cat one. Have the hands resting on the floor near the hips. Knees are bent with the soles of the feet on the floor. Imagine this movement first before you do it so your body can prepare for what you're about to do. So imagining this, you would inhale and lift the lower back away from the floor, just arching the lower back while still keeping the hips down. On the exhale, you'd relax the lower back, and the lower back would then relax down towards the floor. Might reach the floor, it might not reach the floor. It's just about returning to the natural curve. Let's all do that now. As you inhale, I want you to lift the lower back away from the floor, keeping the hips down, keeping the shoulders down. As you exhale, let the lower back relax completely, letting it soften to its natural curve. Good. Inhale, arch the lower back. Feel for the breath reaching the pelvic floor. Exhale, relax the lower back. Let lower back soften towards the floor. Do some more of these. Observing and feeling your pelvic floor. If there's any movement in the pelvic floor as you do this simple movement. Really releasing on the exhale. Both in the lower back and the pelvic floor. Let that be the last one. And then pause without moving for a breath or two. Or without kind of external movement. There will still be internal movement just through the breath. It's noticing and observing that. Cat exercise 4. Take your right hand behind the head. This will start in the same way as we did the previous one, where you'll inhale and arch the lower back. Then as you exhale and relax the lower back, you're going to be lifting your head and right elbow up, and also lifting your left foot up so the right elbow can move towards the left knee. And then you'll come back down to the floor and pause. Let's do this together now. So inhale, arch the lower back away from the floor, as you just did. Exhale, relax the lower back. Lift the head up, lift the left foot up. Right elbow moves towards the left knee. It's not about getting it all the way there. It's just the direction of the movement. Very slow inhale as you return the foot to the floor and the head to the floor. Exhale, pausing and relaxing. We'll do 3 more on this same side. Inhale, arch low back. Exhale, relax low back. Lift head, lift the left foot. Shortening in the belly. Inhale, lengthening in the belly as you return slowly back to the floor. Exhale, relaxing completely. Do 2 more of these on your own. Once you've finished that one, resting the arm down, pausing between sides. Then take your left hand behind the head, and we'll do this the other way. Inhale, arch, low back. Exhale, relax, low back. Lift the right foot up. Lift the head up, moving left elbow towards the right knee. Inhale, slowly return the foot to the floor, return the head to the floor. Exhale, relaxing completely. Do 3 more. Noticing if you can feel any sensation in the pelvic floor. If you can feel any connection to your pelvic floor as you do this. Once you're finished with that round you're on now, Set yourself up in a resting position so you can have a few minutes of stillness and rest. So whether it works better for you to rest with the legs straight or the legs bent or in some other position, just set yourself up so you will be most comfortable. Using any props or supports or blankets that feel useful for you. And then close your eyes and settle into rest. If you need an active focus, continue to breathe in a way that helps you build awareness of your pelvic floor. If it feels good to rest without focus, then feel free to rest without focus. Allowing your nervous system the gift of some stillness and quiet for a few minutes. Ease into breathing deeply. Sending your breath to the belly and to your pelvis. Acknowledging whatever journey you've made today towards connecting to your pelvic floor. And thanking yourself for doing that good work. Taking the time to feel your interior world and to build better connection to mysterious parts of yourself. And then start to move and to wake up. Stretching and moving however would feel good right now. Thank you so much for joining me for this class today. I hope you found it useful. Do keep working on connecting to your pelvic floor and breathing into your pelvic floor because it's a really important part of you. I do lots of different yoga stuff out there. I do weekly classes, I do teacher trainings, I do yoga retreats. You can find details to all of that in the YouTube description below. Have a great day.